the world definitely like slowed down drastically in 2020, and people had, like you said, like no choice but to have this like shift and completely slow down and not know what's next and be okay with that. And for some, that was easier than others, of course, but
hi everyone, welcome back to QR Quoted. I'm Queen.
I'm Raquel.
And we're so happy that you have joined us yet again for another episode.
Episode 9.
Episode 9. We're almost at episode 10. Oh my gosh. How where has the time gone? I don't know. Raquel was saying it feels like we've only done like 2 episodes.
Yeah.
For me, I feel like it's been a while. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it.
I don't know what it is. I think it's like our little baby.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's still so much potential for like growth, and there's still so much room. Obviously there is.
Yeah.
But I still feel like we're learning every time.
Oh, for sure.
And we've gotten more comfortable, like I would say, like throughout.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just still feels like we just started.
It's a learning process for sure every single time, and it's so cool to know how much more room for growth there is and how much more we can grow, and how much more there is to learn about all this.
Yeah. Sorry.
We hope you are all doing well, enjoying life, taking it day by day, one step at a time. Today's episode kind of was inspired by me, Queen.
Yes.
Living kind of for the next best thing. You know, it's so easy to just wait for Friday, wait for that next day off, just wait for that next event you have coming up that you're looking forward to, or a trip or whatever it may be. And I always like to like stop and check myself on that, because it's like, wait, there's so much to live for day by day, and like there's so much to be grateful for day by day, that like just stop living for Friday, stop living for the weekend, stop, because then you're gonna stop for a second and be like, well, where did all the time go? It's already almost May. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
So this was kind of inspired by me having to like check myself there.
But the weekends aren't long enough.
They're not.
They're not.
Never. No. Absolutely not. And I kind of was thinking, I was like, oh, this is a fun topic that we can discuss, because I think me and Raquel kind of have different stances on this topic, just given our like different personalities. And the overall topic is romanticizing your life. And the quote is, if you start living for the smallest reasons, that's when you know you're really living. So I was thinking, I was like, yeah, this is kind of like romanticizing your life, depending on how you look at romanticizing your life.
Yeah.
So I got on the computer and I was like, what does it mean to romanticize? Let's look up the definition of romanticize. And the literal dictionary definition of romanticizing is to make something seem better or more appealing than it really is, no matter what it is, right? It's just kind of enhancing something so that it appears or feels better than it really is. I think when looking at it in relation to the quote, which is kind of where my mind went, I'm personally looking at it as something that encourages us to appreciate the little things in life, like the simplest of pleasures in life. Personally, I like to make a thing out of the little things. And sometimes when I find myself not doing that enough, I'm kind of living for that next best thing. And I'm maybe overlooking all the little things in life. I was reading a New York Times article that stated, quote, "It asks us to appreciate what we have right in front of us and to live with intention, no matter how mundane our daily rituals might be. A reminder to look for moments of beauty and embrace minimalism." This article kind of discussed how this idea of romanticizing your life kind of blew up and took off in 2020 during the pandemic, when life slowed down for everyone out of their own control, right? And we were kind of forced or had no choice to appreciate the good things we had during such a challenging time. Now, this time looked different for everyone, but overall, no matter how challenging it was, and everyone had a different experience, but everything did slow down, and you kind of were left with the bare minimum, and you're like, oh, what do I appreciate from the bare minimum that's right in front of me every single day? So that's the context there.
Yeah. For me, I think that the quote almost is like, well, no, sorry, let me rephrase. The idea of romanticizing your life is the opposite of what the quote is, almost, for me. Because it's saying if you start living for the smallest reasons, then that's when you know you're really living. Yeah. So tying it back into the whole pandemic and COVID, the world definitely like slowed down drastically in 2020, and people had, like you said, like no choice but to have this like shift and completely slow down and not know what's next and be okay with that. And for some, that was easier than others, of course, but you were forced to just like take life as is and to just live those daily activities out and, you know, routines or whatever it was for you in the way that it was, and not make it something bigger than it needed to be, essentially. Right. So that's what I'm taking away from this quote. Because for me, like, romanticizing is basically what the definition said it was like making something appear to be something that it's not. Kind of fantasizing, if you will, and creating this false narrative, maybe almost, of like your life. Okay. Like making it this like beautiful, grand thing that it doesn't.
That it maybe isn't.
That it maybe isn't, or it doesn't need to be either, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. But for me, I kind of look at it as, like I said, making a thing of the little things. Yeah. And maybe that's just part of like my personality. I don't know, but the things that I kind of romanticize are like making a cup of coffee or going to get some coffee. Like I make it a thing. Or like reading a book, right? Like I grab my beverage, I have my decked out Kindle, make sure I've got a little cozy situation going on. And Raquel, earlier we were talking about this. She's like, you're reading a book. Like, it's just reading a book. I'm like, yeah, but like, the vibe has to be right. Like, I'm going to make a thing out of it.
If you're watching.
Difference in personalities.
If you're watching, I'm shaking my head no. Because that just doesn't, like, align with me.
Yeah, it's not appealing.
No.
Yeah.
It's not. But I just touched the mic. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I do that all the time. Clang with my rings.
Sorry. What was I going to say? Shoot. I don't know what in my life, like, warrants me to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're grateful for the little thing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. It's not to say that,
but like, you don't make a thing out of it.
No. Yeah. I don't really make a thing out of much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm a little bit overdramatic.
Well,
I said it. It's okay. You can agree.
Oh my God, this episode is very interesting. Wait, what do you mean overdramatic, though?
Like, I overdramatize the little things.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. You know, I'm not even gonna try to like make it seem like she doesn't.
I am also very dramatic. You will not bump into me and I will say ow. Like you might almost bump into me and I will say ow.
Yeah. I'm dramatic in like a different way. But wait, that's a different context. So we'll talk about that in the next episode.
Yeah. Maybe. We'll see.
Oh my gosh.
So
this is funny.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I agree with you that like
okay. Thanks.
If we're looking at this in the sense of like creating this false reality of your life, that's where I feel like romanticizing your life can be harmful. And actually I've read some I think they were like, I don't know, there was these I forgot where I found some articles, but there were articles I think written by students about like how romanticizing one's life can be harmful. Yeah. And I think they were more kind of under the social media lens, right?
Ooh,
which
yeah.
we'll talk about
That's
later. And I do think there is harm. There can be harm in like
definitely
this false reality.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's so important to be able to critique that.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're going back to the quote, I think that we both can agree that like it is super important to like live for the little things in life and appreciate the smallest of things before you can even get to appreciating the big things in life, right?
Yeah.
I think the key thing is implementing that gratitude into your life. And obviously people are going to do it in different ways. Like you are a quiet, appreciative person of the little things in life, while I might make it more a thing. And that also just goes, that's just differences in personalities.
Yeah.
But it's important to like implement it in your life however it works for you, but not make it a focal point.
Right.
I think it's one thing, again, to be able to make the most of the smallest day-to-day blessings and little things, but it's a whole other story if you're pretending to live, you know, a fairy tale life, and you're overlooking your reality or avoiding like the obstacles you need to face. I know most people aren't sitting around in La La Land overlooking their realities, but I think sometimes it's easy to get caught up in like, ooh,
yeah,
the little things, and then you overlook the things that are like looming over you that you really need to face and tackle. Sometimes it's like an avoidance thing. It's anxiety about reality and being in denial of your reality. Plug, last episode. So yeah, that's kind of where my head is going.
Yeah. I'm trying to tie it back into like me, like my current stage of life. And I would say for me, like romanticizing my life, if I was to do so, would to just kind of imagine like what the future holds for me.
Okay.
Once I'm like,
ooh, it's a cool way to think of it.
That's how I would like apply romanticizing my life if I was to do it.
Yeah.
I would do it in the way of like thinking about my future.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, but I can't do that right now.
You're just not in like that mental state.
Yeah. So that's why I need to appreciate the little things.
Yeah.
Because that's where it can get unhealthy.
Okay.
Where you're talking about how it can cause harm.
Yeah.
If I'm in this current stage of my life where I need to do stuff in like a chronological like order, because I'm still a student, for example, I need to do it in this order, so I can't get caught up with romanticizing what could be and what could have been and what I want and like what I thought I wanted, and then I'm faced with like
take
different
care of the day-to-day.
Exactly. And I have to live my life on that day-to-day like schedule, as she just said, and really take into like these little things that I've accomplished throughout the way, or just little things that I've like been able to do throughout the journey.
Yeah.
And if I don't, I mean, I'm thinking like I do that now. If I didn't do that, I think I would be in such an unhealthy state of mind.
Maybe.
Because, yeah, I can't imagine like being in this constant like state of wondering what could have been, or, you know, et cetera, et cetera.
Dreaming about what could be.
Yeah. So that's why like in this stage of my life, like I need to appreciate those little things, because that's what protects my peace. That's what gives me peace, and it makes me feel good about like where I'm at in my life. And yeah, I'm not trying to give off I'm not trying to give off an impression that's not true.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
We were trying to think of like what you do romanticize. Like, what do you make a thing out of? I feel like getting ready. Like, you have your music on.
Yeah,
you're jamming out. That's I just thought of that actually. I'm myself we were trying to find like the things you make a thing out of, like for your own enjoyment, right? Because it's for your own pleasure. It's like life can be kind of redundant sometimes, kind of repetitive. It can be tough, can be exhausting. So it's like, what are the little things you do for you to like enhance them?
Yeah, I guess get ready is like the
I think
only
you
thing.
thoroughly enjoy your getting ready time when you're not in a rush, like when you have time.
Yeah.
She's always got like the music blasting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do more of that.
But I don't like
the idealist here.
Yeah, I'm the realist.
I'm
and
the
she's
idealist.
the idealist. Yeah, I do enjoy getting ready, but I don't take forever either.
You're quick.
I'm pretty quick about it.
I've gotten pretty quick too. It's what 5:30 a.m. wake up times due to you.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I just think like everything in life, it's a balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I look forward to that cup of coffee, to finishing a book, getting ready in the morning. So we had to cut because I just had a cough attack and Raquel just laughed.
Okay. Rude. But okay, hold on. Queen has these cough attacks every once in a while. And okay, I laugh every time because I don't know, it just cracks me up the way she
I was like talking and I felt it coming and I was like, you got this, just get through your next point.
Control it.
And then I lost it and I just started coughing.
And I lost it too.
And then I chugged my water. So we had some ASMR going.
But you're not going to hear that.
You're not going to hear that. Yeah. It was a very vulnerable moment for me. And we're just going to move on.
It's only taken 9 episodes for that to happen though.
That's true.
That's actually impressive.
Wow.
She's had this cough for like years, you guys.
Oh, years. It's a chronic cough.
And then it gets worse when she gets sick.
Or during this season.
Allergies. Yeah. We know
I'm allergic to trees, grass, pollen, and dust.
Nice.
Everything. Okay. Back to what we were talking about.
Yeah.
What I was saying was...
what even was it?
Like everything, it's a balance. Yeah, I look forward to that cup of coffee, finishing a book, getting ready in the morning. Like I make these things a thing because why not? Mm-hmm. That's where my mind is. It's like, why not? Make it a thing. Make it enjoyable. Because we got to do them anyways. But like, that's not my whole life. And I'm fully aware of that. My life is also staying up too late, scrolling on my phone, doubting my skills in my profession, waking up late and running out the door to make it to work on time, getting to work and being like, ooh, I look like that. Or coming home and being like, ooh, I look like that all day. Maybe not spending enough time with loved ones. Like I said earlier in the episode, just waiting for the weekend every week, right? That's all just being human. So that balance is important. That's why I make it a thing. I make the little things a thing, personally. That's where I'm at with that. But it's a balance because it's not always going to be that way.
Mm-hmm. When I thought about this quote initially, like the first thing that came to my mind was like social media. Because we're in this time where social media is really, I feel like, at its prime. Everybody wants to be an influencer in some way, shape, or form. And
some might say we might want that.
Yeah.
I don't think we do that.
We don't.
We're just doing this.
Yeah, and this is different in a way. And hopefully you can see that and sense that. Yeah. The real ones will, I guess.
Yeah.
But my point with that is that, like, obviously we know that reality is never what you see on social media. It's not 100%, of course. I mean, people can make it seem that way with their cute, like, trendy ASMR, like, morning routine, reels or videos, whatever, like, with a timestamp. And, like
they flick the cap
off their skincare. Yeah, exactly. And then she like smacks her face to like get the sound, you know, and then
make sure the serum is blended in.
And then it's like a shower, and then it's packing your lunch for work. And like, listen, I follow some of these accounts and I watch it myself, and it's very pleasing.
Yeah.
But I know that like she's just packing a lunch. She's just putting on her moisturizer. Like, when did this become a thing like this? You know? And that's my whole like attitude toward it. It's like, when did this become a thing? Like, I put on my moisturizer every day.
Before this even was a thing.
Yeah, I pack a lunch.
Yeah.
I shower. Like, I don't know.
Sometimes I don't even pack a lunch.
Oh, wow. You're so rebellious.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, that's my thing is like, why is this a thing? I mean, it's it's cute. Like, you know, it's nice to watch and see and stuff. But it just goes back into the idea that, like, obviously some people do it, like, to make them happy. They actually get enjoyment out of it. Some people do it for a living. That's a whole different, like, thing and topic and discussion to have about it. But that's just my question. It's just like,
why is it a thing? Yeah. Why is it a thing to make the little things a thing?
Yeah.
It's a good question.
I think there's a way to do it.
Yeah.
I think, especially when you have your life and you have your routine already, and you're not doing it for the followers, and you're not doing it for the whatever is associated with it, the fame, the sponsoring, whatever it is. You're not doing it for that. But instead, like, you're just doing it just to make you happy and for fun. That's fine.
Yeah.
But then I think when it's, like, almost coming off as a bit, like, unnatural, that's when it just kind of rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah. I think that with social media, my take on it is do whatever you want. As long as you are not harming yourself, not harming others, you're taking care of yourself, taking care of your loved ones, post what makes you happy. But I think as a consumer of social media, and I think this is something that everyone needs to be reminded of sometimes, because we are consuming so much on social media all the time, no matter what platform it may be, that it's just a split second. It's a glimpse into someone's life. And I think we've talked about this before. Like, it is, and you hear this all the time, it's just a highlight reel. Yeah. It's a highlight reel of someone's life. It is not their reality. No. And it's the two things, like romanticizing one's life and social media, are kind of tied together. And I guess I'm wondering too, like, why? Why is that the case? And the more I think about it, the more I think, like, social media was this place prior to what it's become now, where it was only, like, the big grand celebrations, right? Yeah. Like, you posted when you, I don't know, you graduated, or you got married, or you did this, you did that. But then maybe, and again, maybe this goes back to, you know, just a few years ago, when people still wanted to stay connected, they were just sharing the little mundane things. So I think that, well, I'm getting. Yeah. I think I know what you're going to tell me, but I think that now that is becoming overly enhanced.
Like dramatized.
Yeah. Right? Now, those little things are becoming more of a thing. And now it's like, well, even those little mundane things don't seem realistic anymore when you're looking at social media. Because who has the time to do a 25-step skincare routine, spend 30 minutes on makeup, pack a lunch, get a workout in, all before leaving? I would have to wake up at 3 a.m.
Literally,
every day to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, like, that is not sustainable for me.
Yeah.
And it never will be.
Yep.
And I'm never going to try to be that, right? Like, so I think that's the issue, is not being able to recognize that. It literally all comes down to, like, perspective and being able to be critical of that and understand, like, what is your life? You need to, like, truly be in control and know your life and understand your life and who you are and your day to day. And I think that's why it's become this way now, because it once wasn't like this. Social media was just truly, it's not even...
it started off with just posting a status. Like, think about, like, MySpace and things like that back then. I never even had a MySpace, but, you know, from what I hear, it was just, like, sharing a status, or, like, Twitter. Yeah. You would just, like, post a tweet.
Yeah, or, like, photos was, again, just the bigger celebration.
Yeah, like, you never really posted photos much.
Yeah.
It was, like, your icon picture, and then those bigger things.
Celebrations.
And, like, to see the evolvement over time, is huge.
Yeah.
And, like, now, like, everybody is just on it. Yeah. Everyone has access to it, and...
There's so much of it, too.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's, like, what businesses target to promote themselves. It's literally like even like what healthcare targets too. Like it's huge because it's so accessible to everybody, and everybody sees everything on there.
Yeah.
At some point. So
I think that's where, like, looking at romanticizing your life through social media can kind of be a little bit damaging.
Yeah.
But if we go back to the quote.
Yes.
And if we're looking at romanticizing your life as, do you want to read it?
Sure. If you start living for the smallest reasons, that's when you know you're really living.
The smallest reasons. Do the little things that make you happy in whatever way you want to do them. If you want to make it a thing, if brushing your teeth is the highlight of your day and you want to make it a whole routine with your flossing and your mouthwash, go for it. But
such an example.
It's very specific. But it's truly about just being grateful for the good things, the little things, and not just being caught up in like waiting for the next best thing, I think. And social media is not reality. It just isn't. So keep that in mind always. Before Raquel wraps it up for us, we just want to let you all know next episode is a special one. It is our 10th episode. So we want you all to kind of keep an eye out on social media. Follow us if you aren't already doing so, because you guys are going to be able to get involved in episode 10. So keep an eye out for that. Stay tuned. Thank you all so much for listening.
I'll give my 2 cents and I'll end it off for us. But think about your life and where you're at right now, and don't take it for granted, but just like really enjoy the stage of life that you're in and enjoy all the steps in between to get you to all those things that you're romanticizing about and fantasizing about, because they'll get you there eventually, but there's just a way to do it in a way that allows you to really live and allows you to just be peaceful and just happy with like where you're at and what you have.
Amen to that.
So yeah, we thank you for watching and listening to episode 9. As always, we are on all the platforms, so YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
And that's it.
And that's it.
I'm Queen.
I'm Raquel.
And this is
QR Coded.